This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're up at Glen and we're delighted to be joined once again with Gerard Hughes. What is it about we coming to Glen and the sun's shining? That's the last couple of interviews we've done here. We seem to pick a good day for the interviews, don't we?
I think you bring the sunshine, Maree. Every time you come up here, it's sunny. No, you do. You definitely bring a sunshine, like.
There we go. That's a good compliment for the day now. I guess obviously, you know, as much as anything, obviously with Sunday boxing, you're also into your boxing hugely as well. We've obviously probably had a difficult probably couple of weeks and obviously boxing, obviously 3-4 defeats obviously down in Dublin, obviously in the Katie Taylor card, and obviously mixed defeat. Obviously last weekend, obviously I know that a lot of the rest of the card obviously had success, but I guess in anything sometimes we sort of look to the sort of negatives we do anything in life. But I guess obviously it's now just a time for obviously everybody to try and regroup and regrow, and I guess for you obviously still building your career as a professional. What have you sort of made the last couple of weeks? I guess it's massive at the fact that we've had sort of 2 world title fights within a week of each other. I guess it's sort of putting ourselves in them positions. Probably in some respects as well, the shows have went off very, very good. Both sold out shows and great atmospheres.
Yeah, look, listen, it's the last 2 weeks have sort of showed you that nothing's ever guaranteed. Like with any of these opponents, you know, like I think if you look at the Gary Cully odds before even to that fight, I think the odds were mad for him, and look how that ended. Do you know what I mean? And then you had Katie, which I thought the fight was closer than what everybody else sort of thought it was. But again, Cameron she was getting the quality in it. Then last Saturday night, Mick, you know, and then you had obviously our own Padraig and Conor both getting wins. But it's a tough one because you know you have Katie losing there, but she'll probably get a rematch back in Dublin. So that's actually bringing big shows back again. With Cully probably on the undercard. I don't know about Mick. I don't know obviously what his plans are, but if you're talking about at the minute, you know, Mick's the one bringing the big nights back to Belfast, so Belfast boxing sort of needs him, you know. So I don't know where he goes. So it's a tough one. Like it's sort of it was bad to watch just because of that. You know, you're going fuck me, you know. Because if he had won that, then that's more big nights back to Belfast. So.
I guess for you, obviously coming up as well, obviously, you know, you obviously haven't had a chance to obviously fight at the SSE yet. Obviously, Paddy's been on quite a few cards. Conor's been on a couple now. You want to be on him at Conlan undercard, you know, and that's probably the thing that drives you at the moment is going, you know, I guess Mick's going to make his own decision and obviously what he does next, and everybody will respect whatever decision he does make, whether he stays on and fights or whether he retires. But I guess for you, obviously up and coming, you want to be on him at Conlan undercard because you know the SSE is going to sell out. You want to experience that atmosphere. Even if you opened the show, you wouldn't care, you know. Yeah. I guess it's a free ticket as well, sort of, you know, as well. But, you know, you sort of look up to probably Mick and stuff as well. The fact of going, I want to be on your undercard, you know, I want to tell everybody in the future I fought in the Mick Conlan undercard, you know, so it's probably hard for you to take at the moment as well because that was a sort of motivation and drive for you to go, let's get myself into position for title fights and then get on a Mick Conlan card.
Well, any professional boxers in Belfast will know what was a bad result, you know what I mean, again, because Mick sort of has the platform he's bringing to Belfast and we're all sort of building ourselves off the back of it. Like even Paddy actually tweeted it the other day, he says, I've built my career off the back of on Mick's cards, you know, so it's if Mick obviously doesn't come back, which I think he can, you know, he's at that level, you know, it's probably at this stage it's probably just a bit of luck and timing, really, because I think at any of them guys that level he causes them problems, but if Mick, obviously I don't know what Mick does, if Mick doesn't come back, you know, Paddy's probably the next in line they're sort of building him already as maybe getting his own show, so you know, I think Paddy can bring big nights back to Belfast. You know, his weight division is stacked, like, and he's right up there. So, it's obviously it depends on what Mick does, but I think definitely, don't get me wrong, it was a big hit, but you'll have other people coming through that can sort of carry the flag for Belfast boxing and Irish boxing.
I guess in probably some ways when you sort of maybe look at the BT sort of aspect, obviously at BT's first show, I know they were here for one of the Felas recently, I think 2019 was it, they were here for the Fela, so that was the sort of first time they'd sort of been back. You can sort of maybe throw into the equation obviously Anto Kakachi obviously signed to BT, maybe he could obviously headline a card and Paddy be co-main. I guess it's as we obviously know with Frank Warren and stuff, they don't seem to have built probably Anto correctly. Yeah. I've no problem in saying that. Now there's a chance for they can strike the irons hot, but I guess it depends on how they can build the card. But with Conlan Boxing and Mark Dunlop and all the promoters and fighters here, they can still build a really good card without Mick. But it's whether they obviously want to take that chance without it being say for instance, a world title fight. Obviously, Anto could get a world title fight, but probably the likelihood is he's probably going to have to go away for it.
Yeah, well, you've Anto and Paulie. They're well ranked. They're ready for any of them top level champions. So yeah, you've two people there, as you said, Anto and Paulie, and again, as you said, they could probably. Both of them could be on the same card with BT involved. But I think even Belfast, if you look at Belfast, I think we have, and then that you're not even counting it, but Irish boxing has the quality and the quantity, and it's just developing that, and same when Frampton retired, it was like who's next, and it was Mick, and then it's just the question is who's next after this, but again, it's obviously it's a big decision for Mick to make, and I don't know if he would like to go out like that, so maybe there is a big night left in him, and maybe there's he brings another big night back, and we all hope he does, do you know what I mean, because it's a great platform to be on.
Obviously for the stable, you just sort of mentioned there, obviously Paddy. I think Paddy's sort of been a wee bit sort of maybe too hard on himself. I was in last week, obviously done 10 rounds for the first time. He obviously won the ABO belt last year, and sort of this is the first time he's done 10 rounds, his 17th pro fight, and I guess probably after coming straight in after Mick, and obviously a lot of people are clearing out because obviously Mick had lost and they didn't want to stay and support the rest, and I'm sort of a very, very tough Mexican that sort of didn't open up. They sort of let Paddy throw the shots he can normally land. I thought it was probably a good mature performance for Paddy, because let's face it, obviously after Mick loses, even for Paddy, knowing that he's come up through his cards, it's been easy for his head to drop, and he could have ended up being what obviously happened to Gary Cully, and he could have landed with a big shot and it could have been all over for him as well. But obviously good obviously outings for Paddy, and probably more so probably Conor's is probably going under the radar, but like Conor's opponent I think was ranked 4 in Europe, and that was an 8 rounder, supposed to be for a title. Both Paddy and Conor were supposed to be title fights, and then because of the scheduling it didn't happen out. But another good test for obviously Glean fighters last week, and building the foundations for the next stage as well.
Definitely, Paddy, like again, as you said, there's nothing guaranteed. You have these opponents come across, and people just think you're going, like the fans over here just think, he's going to beat him. So listen, 10 rounds banked. Paddy's due one of them. Do you know what I mean? He's realistically 1 or 2 fights away from a big fight. So he went on a run of knockouts there for quite a while. So he's probably due a few of them fights where he just sort of gets the rounds in, and he's still building his experience, do you know what I mean, to fight one of them top guys. And then you've Conor. Conor was in I was actually ringside. I was in the ringside for the fight, and fuck me, your man was tough as nails. And as you said, he was ranked number 4. He was EBU champion before, European champion, and Conor had the quality, and Conor always looked in control. But your wee man was dangerous. Same again, like you can never take it for granted, and your wee man was there to win. So yeah, and I think Conor's now ranked number 3 in England, in the UK now, after that fight. So that shows you what sort of fight that was. That was before the televised part of the card, so it probably hasn't under the radar, but it was a great performance.
Obviously for yourself, you're obviously now back out 4 weeks tomorrow, obviously on Mark Dunlop's, obviously your second show in a row, obviously been on a Mark Dunlop show, obviously 2 other stablemates, and obviously Owen Neill and obviously the Murph and Liam Gaynor having a rematch for the Irish title. It'll actually be the first Irish title fight in over 3 years as well. So, for Colm at obviously 23, I guess it's sensational the fact that he think he could be an Irish champion. I know James Tennyson done it a lot sooner, but obviously it looks like it's going to be another great card, and obviously Europe Hotel. I guess it's good for you. You're sort of building these foundations still within your debut sort of year. I think you've a scheduled opponent to look fast as well. Is it another 4 rounder? Are you moving up to 6 in this?
Well, again, I think it's down for 4, but I'd love 6. Do you know what I mean? But again, I sort of forget that I'm only 2-0. Do you know, I don't know. I think everybody sort of tries to move too fast now. Do you know, and rush into the go from 4 to 6 and all the rest of it. So I don't know. 4. It's scheduled for 4 rounds. But as you said, it's on a great card. You've Murph fighting for the super featherweight Irish title. And then you have Owen O'Neill as well in a fight. So, I mean, I can't wait. I like that last show. Obviously, I fought in Manchester in my debut, and the difference between Manchester and fighting in Belfast was night and day. Do you know, it was a great show to be on. Do you know, I used to work in Europa, so it's like a second home. Do you know what I mean? And even going there, you didn't feel nervous. I was in the changing room and even just walking, it was like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like a normal day. It was like a day at work, and then I went up the stairs and I heard the crowd and all, got a good reception, and I didn't get that in my pro debut. I went in, your man had more fans there than me in Manchester. So now, mate, I like the Europa. It's a good place, and listen, the talent that's fought there before, do you know what I mean? Tennyson, McCarthy, Jonathan Davis has fought there as an amateur. So no, it's great. It's a great venue, and it's close for your supporters, do you know what I mean? And it's easily accessible, do you know?
I guess for you in some ways as well, obviously I know obviously you're based in Ballycastle and everything else, but it obviously gives your fans and everything else, where you're building yourself up, it gives them an opportunity to come. Europa nights obviously, are probably, other than the SSE, you obviously have the Ulster Hall the odd time as well, but the Europa nights are always good nights. It's close and compact. So it obviously offers a really good night out, and obviously it's close by for people to go out and drink or whatever afterwards, and obviously celebrate obviously the wins. But your last time out, obviously you were full of energy. You could probably nearly see that 4 rounds was too short for you. I guess for you, still within that debut year, it's not trying to run before you can walk, so sort of trying to gradually build up. We've seen obviously what D. Walsh has done with everybody else in the stable, so he'll probably know the right times for you to move and when to move. So is it just a case of obviously showing probably more improvements from the last time out and sort of building up?
Yeah, definitely. It's just, again, like every camp, it's sort of like you improve every camp, especially with all the lads in there. You're just always improving. And you're always chasing improvements. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, it's just going out and putting on a good performance, and getting me experience. Do you know, realistically, the next fight, if it's not this fight, the next fight's definitely I want to be 6-rounder. And then, listen, as you said, my last fight, I thought I'd done the 4 rounds really easy. So the next one definitely a 6-rounder. And then go for the 8, and maybe December, around the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? Finish off the end of the year on an 8, maybe a title fight. Do you know what I mean? If we can get sanctions for it. So, yeah, like them Europa nights they're important for Belfast and Irish boxing, because you've people like me, pros, and Conor. You develop there, and then as you see, Conor's moved from there and he's on to the big shows. So them if Mark didn't do them nights, where are we fighting? Realistically, so them nights are really important.
Obviously, last time you were probably a bit eager. You were probably maybe trying to push too much for the stoppage, I guess, where it sort of maybe felt like a debut to you. I guess now, probably this time out in 4 weeks tomorrow, you'll obviously maybe be relaxed a bit more, because you fought there before, you know what it's like. You obviously look Fash has obviously been around the sort of block. He's probably seen every sort of style there is. So it's sort of maybe try to look for an opportunity, but just completely relaxing and probably just believing more than in your boxing. You've obviously had a couple of run-outs now after a period of no fights. So is it just more in sort of relaxing and sort of showing more wee bits of what's to come within your career?
Yeah, I see. Fighting in front of a crowd, I got energy off it, like, again, I hadn't felt that before ever, like, as in fighting in front of a lot of people that was there to support me. Like, I'd done 100 tickets, do you know what I mean? So, when you hit, it was just when I went out there, it was just, I think it sort of all got to me, and I just wanted to go out and prove a point. Your mum was sort of very, negative, once he was sort of hit, he didn't really want to know, just a lot of holding. So, yeah, listen, when I go out here in 4 weeks' time, maybe not let the occasion get to me as much, and maybe slow everything down, and maybe think a wee bit more. I was catching your man in that last one, clean shots, but then not really following up. So maybe just a wee bit more of that, just being a wee bit more smart, going about it in a smarter fashion, and yeah, I can't wait.
Obviously similar to Conor, obviously I guess everybody else has been winning titles and stuff in the gym. Do you sort of feel any pressure that sort of you want to get into the title fight sooner? Is it sort of you're having to be held back a bit to go, come on Gerard, relax here, when you see everybody else with titles, you want to have a title around your shoulder or around your waist. Do you sort of feel that sort of pressure? Are you sort of having to realise I'm still a sort of infancy in boxing, that you sort of nearly have to, sort of gradually build up? Because, there's probably maybe only one fight for you, obviously locally here, without sort of naming anything, because I don't want to sort of go into that when you're in the build up to a fight. But when obviously there isn't really a lot of opponents you can have for domestic belts, do you sort of nearly have to home yourself in and go, let's relax, let's take it easy, and whenever these fights come, they'll come?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, like if I could fight an 8-round Celtic title fight tomorrow, I'd take it. If it was offered to me, I'd take it. But obviously, there's a process in it. Do you know what I mean? You have to fight 6 rounds yet, and I don't know if you have to fight 8 rounds, but you have to do a 6-rounder. I haven't done a 6-rounder yet. So once I do a 6-rounder, I'll take a title fight. Again, as you said, like being around the boys in the gym, you know, they're all winning titles and belts. So, of course, that's where you want to be. But at the same time, you still have to follow a process and you have to earn your stripes too. Do you know what I mean? So, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, improving, and whenever I'm able to take them fights, I'll take them. Do you know what I mean? Just follow the process and keep improving.
A fighter fights, doesn't it? Obviously, it's down to obviously, you know, DE and obviously your management and everything else to make sure that you do it at the right times. You're just past a year since you actually signed pro as well. Obviously, you've had 2 fights so far. Has it went how you've wanted it to go so far? But you probably maybe wanted to have a few more fights. How do you sort of feel you're adjusting? Obviously, because let's face it, the first year or so, obviously switching from amateur to pro, you're obviously going to be slow and sort of starting rounds and things like that. How have you found it so far? Would you, I guess everybody wants to fight as often as possible. Are you sort of happy with how things are going so far?
Yeah, 100%. Like realistically, I didn't get my licence till September. There was 2 fight weeks in August, July and August, that sort of the British Boxing Board were overseas, so it put it back a wee bit. So I didn't get mine till September. So realistically, I'm what? From September I've had 2 fights, which isn't bad. Again, listen, you always want more fights, do you know what I mean? But I think I'm moving in the right direction. You know, by the time September comes, I hope to have 4 fights all in. Do you know what I mean? One here in July and maybe one September or August. So 100%. Listen, just keep trucking away and improving. So yeah, like once September comes, I'd hope to have about four fights.
It's a good obviously start, obviously getting 4 within the debut year. Obviously I know the gym doors has just opened there. Obviously I think that's my calling to stop the interview before I'm dragged in the ring. But obviously enjoy your last couple of weeks of camp. We'll obviously catch you on July 1st, obviously for your fight. Have you got much tickets left? Obviously how's tickets going for the show?
Tickets, see, I've quite actually a good following in Ballycastle. You know, when I fight, especially after the last one, there's actually, I'll probably do more tickets this time because there was people that didn't go to the last one that go, I want to go to the next one. So I have about 10 tickets left, you know. But even in the last week, you have people rushing at you. Go, I need to get a ticket. So I have about 10 tickets left, 60s, and but I'll shift them. Do you know what I mean? I actually was asking Mark for more 70s. So tickets will be gone.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time as always. We'll be interested and intrigued to watch you here. I think a Doghouse Fridays today. But obviously, thanks very much for your time and we'll catch up very soon.
Thank you very much, Maree. Thank you.